What's up, Unstoppable Squad? Today we have another AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts VII results for July 15th, 2023. This contains spoilers. Tonight's AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts VII were broadcasted live from the Calgary Stampede Saddle Dome in Calgary, AB. Nigel McGuinness and Ian Riccaboni were the broadcast team for tonight's event. It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. Saturday night's all right for fighting. 2 of 3 falls for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. FTR as your champion, Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood versus Bullet Club's Gold, Switchblade, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. Dax locked up with Jay White. Dax cradled White for a quick near fall. White got to his feet and dropped Dax with arm drags. Juice and Cash tagged in for their respective teams. Cash ran into Juice with a hard shoulder block. Juice rolled to the outside to him collect himself. Dax Hardwood applied with an abdominal stretch to Jay White. Wheeler tagged in and FTR used tandem offense on White. Switchblade drop kick to Cash and tagged in Juice. Juice jabbed Cash and clocked Cash with a left hand. Wheeler press slammed Juice. Dax hit a snap suplex on Juice. Jay White tagged in and chopped away at Hardwood's chest, lighting him up. Jay White DDT'd Dax and then he spiked Cash with a DDT. Jay White planted Dax with a Sipicoli driver for a near fall. White shocked Dax with a flatliner. He followed up with a German suplex on Dax for a count of 2. Cash grabbed a blind tag and FTR were looking for a shatter machine. Juice countered by shoving Cash into Wheeler. Jay blasted Dax with a blade runner and pinned him. The first fall goes to the Bullet Club Gold, said Ian. Juice and Switchblade began to work over Dax's arm. Cash tagged in and belted Jay White with a lariat with a 2 count. Juice splashed Cash with sentons. Jay White tagged in and nailed Cash with a neck breaker. It was clear that Bullet Club Gold were isolating Cash Wheeler at this point. Juice Robinson and planted Cash with a DDT on the arena floor. Juice splashed Cash with another senton. He tried again, but Cash countered by raising his knees. Cash was able to grab a tag after a hurricanrana to Jay White. Hardwood jumped into the ring with a full head of steam, cleaning house on Bullet Club Gold. Hardwood hit Juice with a crossbody for a near fall. Dax backdropped Jay White and then planted Juice with a brainbuster for a 2 count. The fans erupt with "This is awesome" chants. Dax tried for a sharpshooter on Juice, but Juice kicked his way out of the hold. Jay White tagged in and snapped suplexed Dax into the turnbuckles. Juice followed up with a cannonball. Cash ran in to break up the pin attempt that Juice had on Dax. Hardwood and White exchanged chops in the center of the ring. Cash hoisted up White in the Razor's Edge. He then threw White and Dax caught White in the cutter. Cash covered White, but White somehow managed to kick out at 2. They can't be beaten. They can't be pinned, said Miguel. FTR pummeled Jay White with chops on the top rope. Dex superplex Jay White with the power. Excuse me, sorry. Cash went for the glory splash, but Jay White raised his knees to counter. Juice frog splashed Dax while Jay White covered Dax, and Dax found the intentional fortitude to kick out. The fans chanted AEW, AEW. This is pro wrestling and doesn't make you proud? Asked Nigel. FTR finally smashed Juice with a shattered machine and Cash scored the pin. The second fall goes to FTR. There was no way Juice was escaping that, said Ian. Jay White backdropped Dax Hardwood on the apron. Dax picked up Jay, positioning him for a power bomb, but they both tumbled over the guardrail. Ref Paul Turner called for the AEW medical team to check on Wheeler and White. These men are warriors. They will not be stopped, said Miguel as Dax and Jay got to their feet. Dax suplexed White on the arena floor. FTR double suplexed Jay White onto the arena floor. They followed up with the double suplex to Juice on the arena floor. Tonight we are seeing two teams at the top of their game, said Ian. Jay White locked Dax in the sharpshooter. Dax crawled and reached the ropes, forcing the referee to break up submission. Sorry. This seems like a little longer for the second pinfall. So maybe I'm thinking maybe Jay White and Juice had won, but let's see. Because I didn't watch the highlights of it. I watched the highlights of the Impact's Slammiversary thing. I didn't have any more time to watch AEW. Jay White locked Dax in the sharpshooter. Dax crawled and reached the ropes, forcing the referee to break up the submission. Hardwood suplexed Jay White off the top rope. Jay White caught Dax with a bridging suplex for a near fall. FTR applied stereo sharpshooters to Bullet Club Gold. FTR were exhausted and couldn't stay in position. Dax was grabbing his knee. Dax countered Pulp Friction and put Juice into the sharpshooter. Juice tapped out. Wow, that seemed long. Jeez. It felt like it was the final pinfall. FTR are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. This was an Instinct Classic. Oh. Okay, but I thought it was one. Shouldn't it be 1-1? Or did I read it and it was like 1-2? Or 2-1? I don't know. Everyone is on their feet to celebrate professional wrestling, said Ian. 58 minutes, give or take, noted Nigel. FTR offered their hands to Bullet Club Gold as a sign of good sportsmanship, but Bullet Club Gold declined, and Jay White spat at Dax's feet. Boo! Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals. Willow Nightingale versus Ruby Soho. Willow blocked an arm drag attack and came back with a shoulder tackle on Ruby. Willow suplexed Ruby with 3 consecutive times. Ah, God dang it. She splashed Ruby in the corner. Ruby fired back with knee strikes to Willow. Ruby connected with a big back elbow. Willow rallied back with a power slam. Shoho grabbed a victory roll for a near fall on Willow. Willow planted Ruby with a spinebuster. Willow locked on a single leg crab. Ruby reached the bottom rope to force the rope break. Ruby slipped Willow a can of spray paint. Willow had no intention to use it, but referee Aubrey Edwards didn't know that and admonished Willow. As the referee retrieved the can from Willow and turned her back, Ruby delivered the no future kick for a near fall. Nightingale just her shoulder just off the mat. That didn't make any sense. Nightingale. Ruby attempted to use the can of spray paint again, but Willow wasted no time with a pounce. Willow powerbombed Ruby and pinned her. Willow Nightingale is the winner of the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. Footage from last week aired where Tony Schiavone was outside Powerhouse Hobbs' locker room looking for an interview. QT Marshall and Harley Cameron interrupted. What happened out there? Asked Tony. QT Marshall. Schiavone, I've got more important things to deal with than worry about talking to you, okay? QT and Harley entered Hobbs' locker room and Schiavone followed with the camera crew. QT says, Hobbs, I'm sorry, listen, you know me. Just think about everything we've been through. There's no way I'd intentionally cost you the Owen Hart tournament. I was literally telling Harley to turn around. What am I going to have to do? Find the biggest and baddest in AEW and knock them out just to prove that everything I tell you is true. Hobbs says, remember, your words is your bound. Hobbs walked away and QT Marshall smirked. Oh boy. You know what that means. He did it on purpose. King of the Blackthorn, Malachi Black and Brody King versus Randy Myers and Artemis Spencer. Black hit a roundhouse kick. Brody squashed his opponent in the corner. Andrade El Idolo walked onto the ramp. Malachi finished off his opponent with the black mask and pinned him. Julia Hart gave Malachi the mask that once belonged to Andrade. Andrade tried to charge the ring to get his mask back, but the referees held him back. Next, we have the AEW Collision's main event, Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Finals, CM Punk versus Absolute Ricky Starks. CM Punk used a side headlock takeover. Punk followed up with a shoulder tackle. Starks charged back with a shoulder block on Punk. CM Punk hip tossed Ricky over the top rope. Punk held the ropes up and invited Starks back into the ring. That's nice of CM Punk. Punk charged at Starks and Starks dodged him, shoving Punk through the ropes. Punk spilled out onto the arena floor. Starks held the ropes open and invited Punk back in. Well, that was nice of Starks, back and forth, letting them back in the ring. Starks returning the favor, said Ian. Punk not taking the offer, replied Nigel. Boo! Punk hit a side Russian leg sweep on Ricky. In homage to Bret Hart, Punk body slammed Starks. Punk climbed to the second turnbuckle, but Starks pulled Punk off the ropes. Punk crashed hard onto the mat. Punk nailed Starks with a Punk's signature running knee in the turnbuckles. Stark tried for a DDT, but Punk locked it. Punk connected with a roundhouse kick to Starks. Ricky countered a short-armed clothesline with a DDT for a near fall on Punk. Starks climbed to the top of the rope. Starks attempted an elbow drop, but Punk sat up and laughed at Starks. Hit the mat. As Starks hits the mat. Punk grounded and pounded Starks. Starks and Punk collided off the ropes, torso to torso, knocking the wind out of each other. Starks rocked Punk with rapid fire forearms. Punk spiked Starks with a pile driver for a 2 count. Punk singled for the GTS. Punk lifted up Starks, but Starks escaped. Starks speared CM Punk, but Punk rolled outside to buy himself some time. Starks tried for a spear again, but Punk countered with a front face lock. Starks' boot touched the bottom rope, so the referee broke the hold. CM Punk will not be deterred, said Nigel. Punk hit a hurricanrana off the top rope, using the momentum. Starks rolled up Punk. Punk reverses it, but then Starks countered with a roll-up and that held the ropes and pinned CM Punk. Boo! Absolute Ricky Starks is the winner of the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament. Reason why I said boo, because he grabbed the ropes to cheat. A career-defining victory for Ricky Starks, said Ian. Ricky Starks grabbed the middle rope to get the advantage. In my book, that shows competition, replied Nigel. Battle of the Belts VII began. Josen Thunderliger was at the top of the ramp to present Ricky Starks with his trophy. Ricky grabbed the trophy out of Liger's hands. Wait a second, did you just see the way he grabbed the cup? Ricky Starks showing no respect whatsoever, said Nigel. AEW International title match. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy as your champion versus Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer. Oh wow, I haven't seen him in a long time. With Jake the Snake Roberts. Or we haven't heard his name in a long time. Archer wasted no time going after Orange. Archer was looking for the blackout, but Orange fought out of it. Archer cracked Orange with a running knee. Archer went for the blackout again, but Orange countered with a sleeper. Archer pulled Orange down and then unloaded on him. Orange connected with a thrust kick. He went for a hurricanrana off the apron, but Archer caught him and smashed the champion into the guardrails. Orange rallied back with shotgun drop kicks to Archer. Lance Archer locked Orange with a stiff shot in the ring. Archer whipped Orange into the turnbuckles. Cassidy countered the blackout with a chop block to Archer. Cassidy delivered a basement thrust kick. Archer caught the Orange punch and then decked Cassidy. Archer hit a sidewalk slam on the champ for a near fall. Cassidy is just trying to evade Archer at this point, said Ian. Jake Roberts, grabbed Orange on the outside and was going to DDT the champ when Lance Archer stopped the snake. Cassidy rocked Archer with a DDT on the arena floor. Cassidy and Archer were brawling on the apron. Orange clocked Archer, sending Archer to the arena floor. Orange jumped into the ring just before the referee counted to 10. Orange won in nick of time by a countout. After the match, Lance Archer came back into the ring, but Orange and the referee quickly rolled out away from Archer's path of destruction. Tony Schiavone was in the ring to interview the Acclaim, and Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. Daddy Ass says, from the sound of it, Calgary loves the Acclaim. The Acclaim loves Calgary, and I really love cowgirls. Max Caster, yo, listen, I heard QTV has been talking a lot of shit about the People's Choice. I'm here to tell you guys that we accept your challenge. This Friday night, the Royal Rampage, there's going to be 2 rings, and we're going to beat your ass twice as bad. Anthony Bowen says, and we have another announcement. After 2 months of climbing out way right back up the trios division, we are pleased to announce that next Saturday, live on Collision in my hometown, the Acclaimed, we get our rematch for the AEW Trios titles. Next, we have AEW's Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm as your champion versus Taya Valkyrie. Storm stomped a mud hole in Taya in the corner. Taya fired back with a overhead hand chop. Taya rocked Storm with a charging double knees. Tony grabbed Taya by the hair and whipped her hard onto the arena floor. Taya returned to the favor with a hair whip of her own. Taya dodged the hip attack from Toni Storm. Taya hit the Blue Thunder Bomb onto Storm. Taya charged in with a hip attack of her own, good for a 2 count on the champ. In the end, though, after interference from Ruby Soho, Toni Storm defeated Taya with a snap pile driver, Storm 0, and retained her championship. AEW owner and CEO Tony Khan escorted Dr. Martha Hart onto the stage. The fans chanted, Owen, Owen, Owen. Dr. Martha Hart congratulated the winners of this year's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament, Absolute, Ricky Starks, and Willow Nightingale. Main event time, TNT Championship match. Luchasaurus as your champion with Christian Cage as he's presenting himself as the champion versus Shawn Spears. Scorpio Sky was backstage watching the match on the monitor. Luchasaurus head-butted Spears. The champ tried for a suplex on the arena floor, but Spears fought out of it. Luchasaurus clocked Spears with a chop to the throat. Spears connected with four lariats. Spears kicked Luchasaurus in the jaw. Spears turned his attention to Christian Cage. He chased Christian around the ring, but Luchasaurus was there to stop Spears. Luchasaurus neutralized Spears by choke slamming him through the table. Luchasaurus choke slammed Spears in the ring for a 2 count. Where did Spears find that? Wondered Miguel. Christian Cage set up Spears' chair between the top and middle turnbuckles. Luchasaurus charged at Spears. Spears dodged him, and Luchasaurus crashed into the chair that Christian set up. Spears was looking for a C4, but Christian Cage jumped on the apron. Spears went after Christian, and Luchasaurus used Spears momentarily lapse in focus to drill Spears with a lariat and pinned him. Catch AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts on TBS next Wednesday, live at 8/7 Central from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. And remember, the home of professional wrestling is All Elite Wrestling. I'm Unstoppable, and I'll see you guys in Impact's Summerversary pay-per-view results. And I'm out.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Skiz here. And if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy ass bitch motherfucker.